This is not getting discussed on the mainstream media. Not only are they wrong legally, but the fact that they would do this is outrageous. This is an overreaction and really nonsense. How would you react if this was your son or your daughter? It's the offense of knowing the truth. It's the offense of having an alternate worldview. Saying God bless you to someone is not a violation of the law. Welcome to the broadcast, everybody, and we're thrilled that our television audience is here with us. And we've got a very special guest that's going to be in the studio discussing this controversy in New York, but also his brand new book. Our guest is Lee Greenwood. The book is Does God Still Bless the USA? A Plea for a Better America. The book is out at the time when the song God Bless the USA seems to be under attack in New York. And folks, as we've gotten into it, and you're going to find that out in the interview today, it's really not church-state separations at the issue here. It is a patriotic issue, and that is this principle does not like the reference to the American flag. Lee, let me first go to your reaction when this song broke, when the issue broke on the song.
Well, I was puzzled first because I've never had this kind of response before. It's nothing but adoration and accolades, and I've sang it every place, in stadiums for, 100,000 people. I've sang it on military tours and USO tours, and there's been a bunch of those. And I get the response exactly what I want, and that's unification of America.
Yeah, and Jordan, you've got reaction coming out of Capitol Hill. A lot of congressmen are saying, what is going on in New York City?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, this should not be a controversy. God bless the USA because of the teacher may not like that it's so patriotic that it means that you're proud to be an American, but this is America's public schools, and these children, and in this school district specifically, PS 90, where you've got lots of children from families who fought hard recently to get to the United States of America, this song means that much more to them.
All right, folks, we're taking your calls live. What do you want us to tell the school? What do you want to talk to Lee Greenwood about as we stand for these kids? Lee, let me get into some particulars. We're talking about the issue, of course, the case that's now brewing in New York, where the song that you wrote that is so famous has now created a stir in, at least with a school administrator and the school board, although you would think that they would get the message since the students are having the desire to do this and the students have these free speech rights. But let's talk about the book that you put together called Does God Still Bless the USA? Obviously coming off of your song, A Plea for a Better America. This book is just out. We've gotten the timing is ironic indeed. I don't believe in ironies, but the timing is something with the controversy now. Tell us a little bit about the book, why you wrote the book, what was the message?
Well, you know the anthem, of course, God Bless the USA. I wrote in 1983, and it got legs in National First in Country Music. It was CMA Song of the Year in 1985. I sang it for the military mostly because we did USO tours all over the world. There's been 30 of those. And it just suddenly it came upon me after I've been married to my wife for 20 years that it's been 30 years next year since I wrote it. And I thought, well, maybe I should write something about the song and its impact on America and the traditional values that we seem to be losing and slipping away. So that's part of the inspiration for the book. Also, the first chapter is I'm not over 9/11. So my father joined World War II right after Pearl Harbor, and I'm sure that attack, that unprovoked attack, that sucker punch, is what made him get into the Navy. After 2001, 9/11 also was impacted, as we all were when we saw the second plane at the tower. And we just we have to do something to move this country back to where it used to be.
It's interesting. My grandfather, you're talking about your father, my grandfather was the chief electrician on the World Trade Centers towers back in the late 60s as it was being built. And I'm from New York, so to me this took personal. And we've represented at the American Center for Law and Justice, our law firm here, we have represented members, family members, including Tim Brown, one of the deputy fire chiefs of the NY Fire Department. So it takes a personal. The song got a resurgence after the events of 9/11, and you probably weren't surprised about that the song would have this. I mean, it's always been a popular song, but they'd have this kind of resurgence.
Well, the song itself stands for spirit, hope, and faith. And after Katrina, and then after the Gulf War, General Schwarzkopf was very forthcoming about they played God Bless the USA and then went to war, and that's what caused our troops to have that spirit. I was not surprised. I had some conversation with the mayor at that time, Mayor Giuliani, and offered my service, and I went to sing at the Firemen's Memorial at Yankee Stadium, and then the Policeman's Memorial at Carnegie Hall. I even sang the fourth game of the World Series for the Yankees, by the way, to try to help that situation.
And I'm a Yankees fan, so I appreciate
that.
Well,
they lost.
I know.
7 games. But you know, we had such a feeling for and empathy for the people who suffered so much. We went to the New York Stock Exchange for the next 4 years and sang there and talked to the people who were recovering and who had all lost somebody in the trade towers. All those things were impact about my book and about. So then I got into things like integrity, because there's so much of that political fraud and political untrust. Also family. There's a big chapter on family. We have Prayers of a Patriot in the back of the book, which was requested by our publisher, and my wife wrote that, Kim, who, by the way, is a Nashvilleian. So we're, you know, we present the book as a way to at least look at our past, our present, and maybe our future.
You know, and also the book offers hope, and that's a big, important part of what it means to be an American. You know, the interesting thing on the case that's brewing right now, a lot of people, when you first get the reaction that school district says no to God Bless the USA, that it's got to be a church-state separation matter. That's what this teacher's thinking. But as we got into it, and it didn't take long to figure this out, it wasn't about church-state separation. No. It was about the reference to the flag, and you pointed that out very early in the interview process. Tell us about that, why you thought that was the case. I mean, Jehovah's Witness, so they don't pledge allegiance to the flag, but boy, then she's imposing her religion on everybody else, which is what the Constitution says you can't do.
Right, and I feel offended by that. You know, I was oddly enough, my wife watches The View, so I was watching The View.
No comment.
I was watching The View the other day, and Barbara Walters reads the lyrics of my song. Okay, so here's the idea. Miss Hawkins, Greta Hawkins, says...
That's the principal.
Yes, the principal of the school there at PS 90 says, if tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life. I'd get to start again with my children and my wife. That's inappropriate for a 5-year-old. Jay, I've sang this song for 30 years. I've sang it for children. Children have sang it to me. Teachers in schools have gotten their kindergarten kids to sing it. They wave little flags. There's smiles on their faces. They feel the security, the umbrella of security about a father taking care of his family, or a mother taking care of their family, the umbrella of protection. That's what that first line is about.
Right.
But I think she took exception to the second line of the song. I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today because the flag still stands for freedom.
Right.
And they can't take... I think that's what she took exception to, and she knew she'd get her hand slapped if she said something about that second line, so she'd do a reference to something else like cultural political incorrectness, or inferring that you'd insult somebody of another culture.
Well, they said it was, you know what, they've got a diversity of cultures here. But what's interesting about PS 90, I'm a New Yorker. I grew up I was born in Brooklyn and grew up in Long Island. I know Coney Island. It's now primarily an immigrant community. Those are the kids that want to, and the parents that want to sing this song. That's what's so ironic about this.
Do you know, in immigration ceremonies, and I have that in one of the chapters of my book, at the end of each chapter, I cite a letter that come from somebody. And this particular letter came from an immigration officer that knows that after the national anthem, they hear God Bless the USA is their first song they hear. They love it. They revere it. They recognize it as a way to endorse and embrace America and its freedoms. This is ludicrous.
It really is. Very quickly, Lee, I got to go hit a break here in less than 30 seconds. You got a brand new book out, Does God Still Bless the USA? What's the major theme? And then we'll get into it in greater length.
Well, the major theme is basically just kind of looking very closely through a microscope at our history and how we became a country. The patriots that started this country, most of them were Christians, and not all, but most.
Yep.
And it's faith of our fathers.
All right.
So we kind of look at it through a microscope.
Well, of course, the timing couldn't be any more perfect. The book comes out and the controversy ensues, but that's why we're here at the American Center for Law and Justice, folks. You go right now to your phones. We have got a petition going, and thousands of you have participated. We want to get this resolved with the school. The graduation's next week. Go to aclj.org, where you can link on and get information about Lee Greenwood's book. Or call right now and add your name to this petition at 1-877-989-2255. If you want to stand with these kids so they can sing God Bless the USA, then you call the phone number right now, add your name, 877-989-2255 or aclj.org.
God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood's ballad, God Bless the USA, one of the most well-known and popular patriotic songs of our time. Millions listen to it daily, but that song is not going to be heard in one New York school. A principal in Brooklyn has banned God Bless the USA from a graduation ceremony for kindergarten students set for June 20th. The reason? it's not age appropriate. What's worse, the principal's boss, the city school's chancellor, is backing up this disturbing decision. The ban has sparked outrage from across the country. The ACLJ is mobilizing, sending a letter to the school board demanding that the ban on God Bless the USA be reversed and that the song be played at the graduation ceremony next week. Take a stand. Add your name to our letter now. It's time to give this school a lesson about the Constitution. Call now, 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online aclj.org.
Hey, welcome back to the broadcast, everyone. And look, we've got 2 days here to get this school district to get it right, and that's where you come in. I want to encourage you to go to aclj.org. You can get information about Lee Greenwood's new book, Does God Still Bless the USA, right there on the website, or simply call 1-877-989-2255 to add your name to this petition for these students, 877-989-2255. Lee, the principal said she thought the song could be offensive to some in their community. You're kind of offended, as you should be, I am, that she found the reference to the flag offensive.
Yeah, she's trying to impose her will on the students when that's not her position of authority. It's an abuse of power. And I talked to the mother, Luz Lozado, I believe.
Right.
Lozado. And her son Daniel, of course, sang my song on Fox the other day, and I thought it was pretty impressive. But she said it's not the truth. It's not going to offend any of the cultures. As a matter of fact, she said we're such a mixed culture in PS90, like in many of the residences in Coney Island. She said it's actually, we love the song and we love the way it makes us feel about America.
Let's listen to a little bit of Dan Lozado. This is the
His name's Dan Mitchell.
Yeah, Dan Mitchell's mother's Lozado, Luz Lozado. We've played some of her bites before. Let's listen to Daniel sing a little bit of the song.
And proud to be America, well, it's time I feel and forget the men who die together. Life to me and got me stand up next to you in the fantastic today. And ain't no doubt I love to stand.
Yeah, so there you have it. That's very offensive, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
This is so outrageous. This is if this wasn't real, you couldn't make this up.
You can't make
it. It is so absurd. Jordan, we've got callers coming in. Let's go right to them, Jordan.
Yeah, Kevin's calling in from Maryland online too, a veteran. Kevin, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks for calling and thanks for your service.
Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate the song. I thank you for what you're doing, Jay. And Lee, your song is awesome, man. When I was stationed over in Korea way back in the 80s, we would have an exercise.
Gas exercise. It's a gas exercise. I know exactly what it is. I've been to the DMZ.
Oh, okay, yeah. When we would have exercises, and they would play, when the exercise was over, they would alert us that it was over by playing your song over the loudspeaker over the bass. And this was at Coons on Air Base back in 1980s.
Know exactly where it is.
To hear the song, and I'll tell you what, from that point on, I've always loved it, and I love what it stood for. So I'm appalled by what they're trying to do in New York. I just think it's a shame.
Hey, Kevin, let me encourage you to do something. I, again, appreciate your service to the country. Go to aclj.org and sign that petition or call 877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 to go ahead and do that. And I'm telling you what, I'm going to get some of these books. Kevin, you hang on the line here. I'm going to get our call screener to get your address. We're going to get Lita in the next few days to sign a couple of these books. We're going to buy them and send one out to you for call. And I appreciate your service to the country. Thanks so much, Kevin. We appreciate it very much. Jordan, let me ask you this. As this issue is moving forward, Lee, you talked to a congressman in the district. What did he say?
Congressman Grimm. We had a nice long conversation. He's a former Marine. He was a first responder in New York, a patriot. He is. I just saw an article on the tube this morning about how he was going to go over to the graduation. Maybe I'm preempting his strike, but they're going to take a lot of my books over there and give them to the parents of the kids at PS90. And I think this is what Miss Lozado said, that they're going to sing God Bless USA after the program's over on the lawn. So
which, by the way, okay, let me give you the legalities of that, folks. Can they do it? The answer is yes, because here's what happens. At that point, it is purely student speech. And in a number of cases that I had at the Supreme Court of the United States, the court has unanimously said that students have the right for free speech, including references to faith. You know, Justice O'Connor said that we are a nation founded, and it's interesting because these are a lot of immigrants in this community, we're a nation founded by religious refugees. And she said it would be ironic indeed if a nation that was in fact founded by religious refugees would remove symbols of faith from our motto, from our culture, whether it's our Pledge of Allegiance. She said that would make absolutely no sense. So the school district here is just way out of line, and fighting back is a big part of it. Jordan, you've got there's a comment by the Representative Grimm saying that he was outraged that New York's Department of Education is standing by the decision of PS 90. By the way, the Department of Education can undo that, Jordan. We know that for a fact.
Yeah, that's right. He said, this is Congressman Michael Grimm, has been on the broadcast before. He says he's outraged that New York City's Department of Education standing by the decision of PS 90 to pull Proud to be an American and God Bless USA from the upcoming kindergarten ceremony for fear of offending other cultures. That was the idea, that this was against multiculturalism. And Dad, and also talking to Lee, the point of America is that these kind of songs are what makes America special, is that we do come all from different cultural backgrounds. Some of us came more recently, like a lot of the students here at PS 90.
Right.
Some families have been here since, the colonial days. But it doesn't matter because we're all Americans.
All right, so it's the phrase, the flag still stands for freedom. This teacher is really putting her religious faith, and that's what it means, her religious faith, on top of this entire school district and these kids who want to sing the song.
Oh, that's what I think. And if you look at the soldiers, they wear the American flag on their left shoulder.
Right.
You see an airplane from the United States flying anywhere else, it has an American flag up on the tail. I mean, it stands for the freedom that we all have fought so hard to protect and keep, and gives Greta Hawkins, Principal Hawkins, a chance to voice her opinion. But like you pointed out, Jay, she's actually abusing her privilege as the principal of that school by trying to impose her will on the students.
You're not kidding. Let me be very clear here. This is the principal of the school, and she walked in. I want you to paint the picture here, folks. The kids were rehearsing the song.
For months.
Yeah, for months. They're rehearsing the song. She walks in, hears them singing the song, removes the CD from the CD player, and tells the students stop. Now, this has got to really be an outrage to you. By the way, you wrote the song almost 30 years ago.
Right. Well, and the impact on the students at that moment, they're like, why did you do that?
Right.
I mean, that was traumatic for them, I'm sure.
Well, it's because now all of a sudden they're going to be embarrassed because of their faith, and that's and their belief and their patriotism. This is patriotic expression here, folks. I want to encourage you to do a couple things. One is get Lee Greenwood's new book, Does God Still Bless the USA? A Plea for a Better America. Great book. Certainly couldn't be more timely than all of this happening simultaneously. There's a link on ACLJ.org on how you can get it. But let me also encourage you, we've got 2 days here to get this principle to change the mind. These kids are going to sing this song one way or another, but that's where you can come in. You go to ACLJ.org, you sign that petition, go into that principle, go into the school board, or call 1-877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255 to stand with these young people. What you got to understand here is, and Lee, this principal made this decision on her own. The kids had already decided they wanted to do this song. Whoever was leading the kids in it wanted that song. This song, by the way, your song has been sung at how many schools? I mean, I can't even imagine.
Thousands.
And it's usually kids waving American flags, a very patriotic expression. So
nobody has said who actually put the song in the program.
Right.
I've never heard that yet.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. I'd like to shake that person's hand, first of all.
Sure.
But second of all, it surprises me that, first of all, the chancellor of the school system backed her, and then the mayor backed
Bloomberg's statement on this was
what is up with that?
I mean, they're too busy catching people for drinking large sodas or something. I mean, New York is, and I'm a New Yorker. I don't get it. I don't understand what the mayor's thinking. This is politically correct. They've got school districts in New York City where they set aside prayer rooms for Muslim students. I'm not complaining about that, folks. I'm just saying that's fine. They're helping them exercise their religion. Fine. Well, this is not the violation of the separation of church and state here, folks. This is America patriotism. It's what we're all about. So anyways, we got to take a break. We're going to come back with more of your phone calls. Again, the book by Lee Greenwood, Does God Still Bless the USA? A Plea for a Better America. Boy, that plea needs to be heard right now in PS 90 in New York. Folks, here's what I want to do. As we go to a break, you go to your phones and you say, I'm going to stand with these young people. We're going to fight back. Here's the number, 1-877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255. You can also go right to ACLJ.org. You can sign the petition right on the web. Thousands have already done that. ACLJ.org or 1-877-989-2255. We need to stand up and fight back on this, folks, and that's where you come in. Lee Greenwood wrote a great song. 30 years later, that song's a subject of controversy. That's not the America that these people came to. 877-989-2255 or ACLJ.org. Back with more in a moment.
God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood Greenwood's ballad, God Bless the USA, one of the most well-known and popular patriotic songs of our time. Millions listen to it daily, but that song is not going to be heard in one New York school. A principal in Brooklyn has banned God Bless the USA from a graduation ceremony for kindergarten students set for June 20th. The reason? It's not age appropriate. What's worse, the principal's boss, the city school's chancellor, is backing up this disturbing decision. The ban has sparked outrage from across the country. The ACLJ is mobilizing, sending a letter to the school board, demanding that the ban on God Bless the USA be reversed and that the song be played at the graduation ceremony next week. Take a stand. Add your name to our letter now. It's time to give this school a lesson about the Constitution. Call now, 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online aclj.org.
Hey, welcome back to the broadcast, everyone. We're thrilled to have Lee Greenwood in the studio with us. I'm glad our media center's located right where it is, so Lee Greenwood was able to stop by. I'm glad our television audience is here with us as well. Hey, Jordan, we've got another retired Army soldier on, I see, on line 2. Let's go ahead right back to the phones and take Robert on line 2 there.
Yeah, Robert's calling in from Maine on line 2. Robert, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Robert.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking my call. I listen to you as much as I can.
Thank you.
And I appreciate the fact that you're taking my call. I just have one thing to say to the principal and to the people who made this decision not to allow that song to be played. Obviously, they have no idea what freedom stands for. And they need to take and put the uniform on the way I did, man the lines, take up a weapon, and stand behind that flag, and they will realize freedom has a price. And that's all I can tell her. She'd better wake up and realize.
Well, Robert, listen, I appreciate your service to the country. We're going to get your name again and address. I'm going to get Lee Greenwood aside. We're going to get some more of these books in here this week. We're going to get them signed. We'll get them over to Lee's office to get them signed, and we're going to make sure you get one. And thank you for your service to the country. What does it mean to you, Lee, when you hear from these military men and women that have served and that song's meant so much to them?
It's such pride for me. I didn't serve in the military, Jay. My father was Navy. My stepfather, Louis D'Antonoli, Italian-American, was in the Air Force with his 2 brothers. And I've worked for the military since I was just a kid. I joined the USO force when I was about 14, and I've worked for their end, where they entertained the troops for 30 years, 30 tours. So when I hear from a soldier who pays the price, the sacrifice that they've made, the flag represents for them exactly why they're there, why they're putting their life on the line. And for this to be an issue, it's ridiculous.
Well, it's the idea that when you add together what we talked about, which is those who don't like any of the songs that say God, and whether it's atheists or those who think that's a violation of the First Amendment, put together this situation where it's an attack, I think, on patriotism. America the Beautiful has been given as a kind of compromise song here.
Right.
But it's 2 very different songs in one hand. I mean, America the Beautiful is a great song as well, and it describes America. But God Bless the USA is a more modern song about being proud to be American. And for these kids, it's very important. I mean, you talk about the understanding the lyrics and age appropriateness. I mean, America the Beautiful, again, it's written in the 1800s.
Great song.
God Bless the USA. Right, great song, but very different, I think, meaning for kindergartners and their parents.
We've got a lot of people want to talk to you, Lee. Let's take the next call. Who do we got, Jordan?
Yep, Eddie's calling in from Florida on line 4. Eddie, welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Eddie.
Good morning, guys. I appreciate, good afternoon, excuse me.
No problem.
I was a union construction worker. I was building the Ritz-Carlton Hotel a quarter mile away from the World Trade Center when they were attacked. I was a first responder with NYPD, FDNY.
Yep.
I was there. I seen a lot of things I shouldn't have. And I was there when President Bush threw the first pitch at Yankee Stadium.
Yep.
We opened the games. Jets flew by, 7th inning stretch. They sang "God Bless America," and this was public to the whole country.
Well, this again. I want to focus on something here. I first of all appreciate you, being a first responder there in New York. But let me focus on something here, folks. The objection here is not. I want to be clear. It's not church-state relations.
Right.
It is the reference to the individualized aspect of proud to be an American, the flag, what it stands for. That's this teacher, principal, is putting her views on the rest of the country. That's really what's happening here.
It's as simple as that. And it sure bothers me, and it bothers everybody I know. I haven't heard anybody that sympathizes with her.
No, I haven't either. Jordan, that's an interesting comment. Our normal antagonists out here on these issues have been pretty quiet.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you got a situation here. This was not an atheist group challenging God in the Pledge of Allegiance or our national motto, "In God We Trust," or a moment of silence. This is a different scenario. This is more about that patriotism issue and the multiculturalism. I think people see "God Bless USA," think, oh no, this is again attacked because of the word God, but it's not. America the Beautiful has God in it as well. So what I think you saw here is when you combine those two forces of those who are already worried that the words God is under attack, and then those who think by using these terms of multiculturalism, it's wrong to be patriotic because being patriotic is too nationalist and it's just not appropriate anymore in our country. It's very dangerous when you combine those two forces.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's happened here. By the way, Lee Greenwood has a brand in light of everything that's going on right now. Lee Greenwood has a brand new book which I'm holding in my hand. Does God Still Bless the USA? A Plea for a Better America. This book's been out a couple of weeks, folks. And this controversy takes place, so there you have it. But great book. You need to get it. We've got access information, of course, Amazon.com. There's a million ways to get the book.
And my website as well, LeeGreenwood.com.
Yeah, I was going to give that at the end, but let's go ahead and do it right now. What is the website there, Lee?
Simply LeeGreenwood.com, or you can go to Tate Publishing, T-A-T-E Publishing.
Yeah, okay, LeeGreenwood.com, easy enough. Hey, Jordan, we've got another veteran that is calling, and let's go right to him. It's Ray on line 2, because we've got a very little,
Ray
only 2 minutes
calling
here.
from Ohio. Quickly, Ray. Welcome to Jay Sekulow Live.
Hi, Ray.
All right, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We've got a little bit of time here. Real tight, Ray. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say, Mr. Greenwood, appreciate you very much. Love the song.
Thank you, sir.
We ought to have a rally, and every veteran's wife, every veteran's child, everybody ought to get together, go over there, surround that school, and all of us should sing that song, and that principal's there to hear it.
I think that's absolutely great. You can't make her hear it, but you can certainly sing the song and have the students do it. And Ray, as a veteran, thank you for your service to our country. Hang on the line also. We're going to get your address. I'm going to get a couple of these books out to the vets that have called in today. Folks, we just got a minute and 20 seconds left. Let me say this again. Lee Greenwood, brand new book out, Does God Still Bless the USA? The song, of course, you can download it on iTunes. You can get it.
If you buy the book, you can download it for free. I have a new version of USA in the book.
Oh, perfect. There you go. And thanks for coming in. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. All right, folks, this is it. We've got a couple of days here to get this. Lee asked me during the break, can we turn this around? The answer is we can if you help. Go to ACLJ.org. Sign that petition right now. Thousands of you have done so. We need thousands more to do so. Or call right now at 1-877-989-2255. That's 877-989-2255 to sign that petition. Going to that school, telling them to let these kids sing God Bless the USA. By the way, 16,095 of you have already signed online in the last couple of hours. Thank you very much. Lee Greenwood's got the brand new book out, Does God Still Bless the USA? Get that and make that call right now, 877-989-2255. Stand with those young people, aclj.org or 877-989-2255. That'll do it for today.
Greenwood's ballad, God Bless the USA, one of the most well-known and popular patriotic songs of our time. Millions listen to it daily, but that song is not going to be heard in one New York school. A principal in Brooklyn has banned God Bless the USA from a graduation ceremony for kindergarten students set for June 20th. The reason? It's not age appropriate. What's worse, the principal's boss, the city school's chancellor, is backing up this disturbing decision. The ban has sparked outrage from across the country. The ACLJ is mobilizing, sending a letter to the school board demanding that the ban on God Bless the USA be reversed and that the song be played at the graduation ceremony next week. Take a stand. Add your name to our letter now. It's time to give this school a lesson about the Constitution. Call now, 1-877-989-2255. That's 1-877-989-2255 or online aclj.org.